I luckily had the opportunity to grill the commissioner of our BPU that runs all our energy decisions in New Jersey, and I asked her point blank at a committee hearing, are you making decisions based on your green energy climate change goals, or are you doing it based on what's in the best interest of the ratepayers? And they flat out said they're doing it for their green energy goals. They don't care.
Hello and welcome to the ALEC 52nd annual meeting in Indianapolis, Indiana. Joining me right now is New Jersey Assemblyman Paul Kanitra. Been with us before, second time on the ride. Paul, thank you for stopping by, talking with us.
Great to be back.
And out there in New Jersey, boy, those of us that are down south, I say down south, Virginia being down south, down south there, the things that are going on up north, it feels like it's a little weirder, it's a little wackier. That's great, just because it's not really our hometown. But in New Jersey, what were you seeing? What were you experiencing? What was the last legislative session like?
It's been an absolutely crazy year and a half.
So I was right. We were on target.
Yeah. We're spending money like crazy. That's what New Jersey does best. We're up about 62% since Governor Christie left office in terms of our budget, and it's all ideological spending, right? It's stuff that we don't actually need.
So we're not talking roads or stop signs or new schools or...
No, it's the Office of New Americans, and it's trying to look at wave power generation and wasting money on offshore wind turbines.
Hey, wave power generation sounds awesome.
Yeah, very cool, but when it's ready in 10, 15, 20 years, maybe.
Well, that's one of the bigger things that we're seeing right now. We go state to state. There's a lot of talk on the energy side, and is that like the main focus right now for New Jersey when it comes for energy, or?
It is, because obviously we know that we're seeing a massive rise in energy consumption, right? All these AI data centers are coming online. When you even say thank you to ChatGPT, it uses enough power that it could power a light bulb for four minutes, I believe, is the amount, right? So when energy costs were low, blue states like New Jersey were just playing around with all these green new energy deals and investing in ideological pursuits. So like in New Jersey, all the money was going towards offshore wind, right? And we were demonizing natural gas, we were demonizing nuclear, we were demonizing reliable, steady streams of electrons that actually were cost effective as well. And now the chickens have come home to roost. Is that a New Jersey? Is that a northern saying, or is that a southern saying? We're in an energy crisis. Our costs are already up about 20-30%. The energy market auction that we had recently shows that the costs are going to go up another 20%. And because we're in a gubernatorial election right now, they managed to convince all the electric utilities to pause on the bills and defer it until November 1st. How blatant and how egregious is that? Only in New Jersey do you get something like that.
Wow, it's like you're still going to pay just after you vote. So keep that in mind, people up there in New Jersey. Now, you were talking about the energy auction. A lot of people don't understand what the energy auction actually is. So a little broad strokes, if you could.
So because states like New Jersey use more energy than they consume, they're part of an interconnect. And there's different regional interconnects around the country.
More energy than they produce.
Yes. Sorry.
Just in case there were any...
New Jersey actually used to be a net exporter of energy back in the day, and then we shut down all our coal-fired plants. We demonized natural gas. We shut those down, and we chased even a nuclear plant out of the state because we were forcing them through, again, some ideological DEP standard to build another tower that wasn't financially viable for them. They had to shut down, and they had to leave as well. So New Jersey used to be a net exporter. Now we're a net importer. The irony in all of this is just what kind of a shell game it is, because it was all under the guise of green energy, but we're importing all that power mostly from Pennsylvania, from these other states and these regional cooperatives.
And how does Pennsylvania make their energy?
Well, my grandfather was a coal miner in Pennsylvania and West Virginia, and that's a big part of it. And I don't think that anything in the atmosphere knows state boundaries. So it's all a shell game, and right now people are really hurting in the state.
Well, I mean, it's interesting when you look at it with the perspective of what happened over there in Europe, especially Germany is a case point for the whole thing of they shut down the nuclear, they shut down the coal, and they said, we're going green, we're getting all of this out there, we're going to do it the right and renewable way. And then all of a sudden, boom, prices go through the roof. They can't produce near as much as what they had before. That's why, one of the ALEC model policies overall is, the name is escaping me, but the basic overall is the fact that you don't take anything offline until what you're putting online actually produces the same amount of energy, so you don't have to become a net importer like apparently is facing New Jersey right now.
Exactly, and people don't understand how intermittent some of these sources are, right? You look at solar and you start talking about megawatt generation. Well, but that's also only during the daytime because the sun isn't shining at night, and only on sunny days, right? And then they only have a 20-year shelf life, right? So all of those kinds of little equations, when the wind is blowing, wind turbines are moving. When it's not, they're not generating energy. So you have to look at steady streams of electrons in this as well. And I luckily had the opportunity to grill the commissioner of our BPU that runs all our energy decisions in New Jersey. And I asked her point blank at a committee hearing, are you making decisions based on your green energy climate change goals, or are you doing it based on what's in the best interest of the ratepayers? And they flat out said they're doing it for their green energy goals. They don't care that Joe Schmo is working their asses off to put food on the table. They just want the lights to come on. And we're actually right now looking at brownouts, possibly this summer, and within 2, 3, 4 years, almost guaranteed if we continue down this current path, because even getting these components, now that they've demonized all this stuff and shut it down, you want to get a new blade for a gas-powered plant, turbine, get it from Europe, It's like a 5-6 year wait right now. And obviously a nuclear plant, 8 to 10 years to get online.
It sounds like you're becoming California.
And what did California do? They had to emergency turn on coal and gas plants to make up for the fact that the other sources weren't generating.
But it's still a great idea.
Yeah. It's a great idea. It's a great idea, everybody.
Especially as those of us are suffering through the various summer heat waves, as comes every year, as happens naturally throughout the planet. But you do enjoy a little bit of the air conditioning, whether in the car, in the home, in the office, or all that. And if you got to go through a brownout, and sometimes there's no choice, you're just going through the blackout side of the whole thing, there's lives at stake. There's a lot of issues that pop up there. We're not just talking pocketbook, but you're talking what happens to kids, what happens to the elderly, or those that are sick overall. And so as they're making these plays, trying to do the green thing, they're actually playing with people's lives.
They are, and we are so close to the first step, which is actually asking people to voluntarily consume less and incentivizing them to do so. So now it's gotten so bad that the energy costs are up, we're going to start paying businesses probably next year, if we get really into this, to not use as much power. And once you get into that cycle, it seems like an inevitable downward spiral.
Yeah.
A death spiral, if you will.
Well, a death spiral, that's so enchanting. It's like, why don't we look at something a bit more positive? What's been the good things that have been going on? What are the positive sides that you're seeing up there?
Well, I feel really good about our gubernatorial race and our New Jersey Assembly races, but other than that, in New Jersey, there's not much to be happy about, right? We're a state where it's crazy policies. We're pushing back on them all the time, and a win for us is getting something to be a little bit less crazy than it was introduced as. Different from the red states.
A little less crazy.
But ALEC had a blue state summit.
Yes, we did. It was out in Illinois, I believe.
It was out in Illinois, and all of the...
So you got to commiserate with the others that sit in the minority.
The disenfranchised masses of ALEC, we got together. It was New York, it was California, it was Illinois, it was New Jersey, it was Washington State, and everybody talked about different ideas, how they were actually able to get a voice in their state legislatures, how they pushed back, how they made a difference, and quite frankly, I think there's just as much value from a private industry side of things, because their bottom line is getting affected just as much in blue states where bad policy is getting passed as it is in red states where good policy is getting passed. And I think people are starting to see that holding the line in places like New Jersey has real value.
So if we can only reach out in those other blue states and just make things a little less crazy.
Yep.
Oh, well, great. With Paul Kanitra, Assemblyman, New Jersey, making things a little less crazy.
Thanks,
It's a great way to do it.
Appreciate
Thank you for
it,
joining
folks.
us.
Yeah, it was great.